Hey, welcome into Real Deal Sports Talk. It is Saturday, October 1st, 2016. It's a great sports morning, great fall morning. It feels like fall out there. I love this time of year. What better time of year is there than this? We got the NBA is starting up. We got football's going. We're a month in. We got, Week 4 coming upon us in the NFL. We got Week 5 of college football coming on us in the NFL. It's a great time. We got high school football. I was just watching the local news report here, watching the highlights of the Valor Christian and Cherry Creek game. And both younger McCaffrey brothers at quarterback and kick returner had big nights for them. They ended up beating Cherry Creek. Nice win for them here locally in Colorado high school athletics. Another game that kicked off, Thursday night, we got the Color Rush unis. I don't know if this Color Rush thing is really going to be the gimmick that the NFL needs or the gimmick that the NFL wants. Quick side note, if you have experienced somebody dealing with ALS, or you yourself, just support the cause. Locally here in Denver at Sloan's Lake today, there is an ALS walk and run going on, I believe currently, so go out and support that if you have the chance. Back to the Thursday night game. Sorry, just that thought popped into my head. I'm looking out the window and I see the activities going on over at the lake, so just had to mention that real quick. So yeah, the Color Rush unis for the NFL, they're interesting. I get it's a marketing thing. They're trying to please the fan base. I just call it what it is. It's an alternate. I mean, you've had alternates in the past, whether it be throwback jerseys or just a different color scheme or whatever. It's just an alternate jersey. So let's cut the marketing plan of Color Rush uniforms. Let's figure out a way that the teams can actually wear them if you're going to limit it to a specific game, and let each team pick what they want to wear. Let them have an alternate to their alternate if it becomes a situation where we're really going to take care of the colorblind people who won't pay attention to the symbols on the helmets and say it's too hard to tell what who's who when the colors match. And look, I don't suffer from color blindness. I have friends that do. So I don't necessarily know what it's like, but at some point we can't take care of everybody or the product just becomes something else. No offense, not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. There's no situation where you can make everybody happy. So continuing to make changes because some new group is like, wait a second, what about us? Well, eventually what are you going to do? You're going to run out of things, and then what are you left with? I don't want to see that. Everybody's wearing brown. I mean, so Color Rush, I don't know. I'm still bitter, actually, that the Lions don't even get to wear their all blacks this year. So maybe I'm not the best person to be talking about the Color Rush uniforms. But, Miami went out there and laid another egg. Tannehill, I'm sorry, you were not a franchise quarterback. The Dolphins paid you a bunch of money as if you were going to be a franchise quarterback. And what you are is an athlete who changed from receiver to quarterback and caught some eyes with your athleticism. It takes a lot to be a good quarterback. That's not a position that very many people can just switch into. You can get guys that are athletes that can switch out of being quarterback and go play receiver or go play another position, similar to what you're seeing with, like Terrell Pryor right now. but you don't get a lot of guys who can just college careers switch from one position to quarterback and become a quarterback. These guys spend years and years reading defenses, dropping back, standing in the pocket, or being in shotgun and being able to read a defense from back there and go through your progressions. And these guys who haven't done that, you see that in their play. And they're not that good on the NFL level, and they do get exposed, and they do get rattled, and their confidence does go. And that's what I'm seeing out of Tannehill right now. He's talking a good game. He's still athletic. He can still throw the ball. You know, nothing like that is there. It's all a mental thing, and he either needs to defeat it or it will defeat him. The Bengals put a whooping on them, and they didn't even play that good of a game. I mean, really, you go back, A.J. Green had a pretty good game. He put up over 170 yards and a touchdown on, I think, about 11 grabs maybe. But they really didn't play all that good Thursday night coming back from losing to Denver. Now, they didn't have to because Miami's not doing anything. That defense that at the beginning of the season I talked to you guys about that looked like it could be fierce if they figured it out and played rough, you don't see the defense really doing anything. Now, a lot of the ways people look at their defenses is, you know, where's the numbers? Let's see the numbers. And players will often say, players like Ndamukong Suh will say, I'm out there doing what the plays are called. I'm playing the defense. That's not my role in this defense. He's had various comments throughout the years. So I get that aspect too. You can't just look at the numbers. Well, look at the tape. Okay, you've got Williams, Wake, and Suh on your front four. Put anybody out of their rotation in that fourth spot. With those guys, with their strength, with their years in the game, they should be just wrecking shop up front. Kiko Alonso should be running around, cleaning up the mess. He's probably the fastest middle linebacker in football. If not, he's got to be right up there. So, I don't know. Miami is very disappointing so far this season. So much so that their own coach was caught on camera dropping an F-bomb. All right, calling in now. We got Chris Rupert. How you doing this morning, Chris?
Doing well, Cal. How are you?
Good. Glad you could join us this morning. Thank you so much for the information last week. That was very helpful. Let's get into the game from last night, all right? Let's just jump right into it. Stanford and Washington, both top 10 teams. Before we talk about how the game, the outcome of the game, how did DC3PO see this game going?
Well, I saw the game actually pretty close. I actually thought that Washington would win a close game by like 2 points. I thought it'd be 32-30 Washington, just for the fact that it was in Seattle. Stanford typically, that's been their Achilles heel in recent years, going on the road. And I've always felt that Washington was a lot better than the record last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I also believe that they have the best defense in the Pac-12. But looking at Washington was a 3.5-point favorite, so I wouldn't have bet Washington.
Mm-hmm.
DC3PO, though, thought that Stanford would win 35-17 with an 86% chance. So,
wow, that's why we play the games, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's why they play. And it's like we said earlier in the year about Stanford and their offensive line problems and their the quarterback play. We weren't sure about how that was going to play out, and maybe Stanford wasn't as good as their ranking.
Right.
And maybe it was UCLA blowing it last week more than Stanford earning it.
I think so. I think what we're seeing right now is exactly that. I think, with the offensive line play, the quarterback play, they know, hey, all we have to do is stop Christian. And teams are doing that.
here's a crazy fact. Christian McCaffrey still has never scored a touchdown on the road.
Wow. Wow.
So,
that
there you
is
go.
that is a crazy fact. And you know,
Tweet
Washington.
that out.
Yeah, Washington went out and they just blew them out last night. I agree with that top-ranked defense in the Pac-12. I mean, that was an impressive showing what they did last night. We'll have to see.
Yeah, that was the question for Washington. Was that is that young quarterback and their two good running backs, and is that offense that has talent? Were they going to be able to put it together at a big game? I mean, there hasn't been a big game like that in Seattle for a while, and they showed up for sure.
For sure, that was fun to watch last night. It definitely was. Let's get into a Big 12 implication game today. OU versus TCU. TCU is going to be wearing a nice little black uniform with a new horned frog on the side. Is that going to help them win this one?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, let's not let the records fool you. There's still a chance this game decides the Big 12, and we called it TCU wins the Big 12. So, in that instance, in an effort to, before we see the games play out, you'd like to be right and say that TCU should win because of those fancy new uniforms, but I don't see it. I think the embarrassing loss to Ohio State and the week off to prepare, and I know that Baker Mayfield, has made some mistakes early in the season, and I lean on Oklahoma to get off on the right foot there in Big 12 play, just because TCU's star receiver, kick returner, Turpin, he's got a knee injury and he's probably not going to play.
Okay.
So I don't know if TCU's got enough offense, and DC3PO kind of sides with me on that one. Gives a 56.9% probability win for Oklahoma, 29, TCU 26.
All right, should be a good one there in the Big 12. Oh, I got two that I might consider as my game of the week, but this one I'm kind of excited about because of the quarterback play that is involved in this game. Louisville versus Clemson, the Jackson versus Watson matchup. Break this one down.
Yeah, you think the way the nation's talking about it, that these are the two greatest quarterbacks in the country, and they're really not when you look at total offense. I think Lamar Jackson is 40th, and Deshaun Watson is like 77. But Lamar, what he's doing right now, I mean, he's got 25 touchdowns. Only 5 teams in all of college football have more touchdowns than him alone.
Wow.
So you look at that. You look at, they looked, Louisville looks untouchable, has looked untouchable. The way that they score, their defense is actually, I think, top 6 in football. But, you've got Clemson, and the issue for them is they've struggled with their offense. They don't look the same. Their defense looks pretty good, and they seem to be finding a way. I kind of lean towards a close game, and I know that there's the Louisville hype train and the Lamar Jackson hype train.
Right.
We're talking this is at home against Clemson. Everybody's talking about Louisville. These are the guys that put up 40 points on Alabama and over 400 yards on Alabama, in the national title game. They've got a lot of talent. And if anybody's going to force, Lamar Jackson to make mistakes, I believe Clemson's that team. And DC3PO sides the same way. Win probability 79.2%, Clemson 31, Louisville 19. I don't think it's going to be that big of a margin of victory, but I do like Clemson.
I think Louisville might get brought down to earth a little bit on the hype train this week.
If they win, though, they are set up to win the ACC.
Yeah, their schedule's not very hard from this point out. Here's my game of the week. I think this game's going to be any number of ways this game could go based on the way Wisconsin's playing right now. Michigan's been putting up all these points. So this is my game of the week. Like I said, I'm kind of drinking the Michigan Kool-Aid a little bit, but